Hey, everybody. How y'all doing tonight?
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
My name isn't, but I'll still say hello.
Superb.
Her name is also
Joyous,
Markiplier
even.
now. I'm sorry, you have no
When
choice.
the party last left off, it was a fine 31st day of late seed. They were enjoying themselves as they had just finished getting back to the Shining City. They had a day or two to get a little bit of a basic bearing on the situation, mostly just learning about, well, where they would end up getting to rest a bit, setting up some preparations for accommodations, and getting ready for a week or two of actually being a little bit productive. And so, you have the reins.
Alright, so first we have our Bastion turn stuff. If you could roll weather. Let me actually get the thing open again. Fuck. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do this until literally last moment. Okay. We are not consuming rations. We will subtract expenses. So I'm going to subtract your lifestyle expenses. Exploration roll. Ara, since Albatross is not here, would you be willing to do that? It's still a
No
D8 plus
exploration
5,
roll.
even.
No exploration roll.
Oh, we still have exploration rolls even in the city.
Nope. Not this time. Smile.
Smile.
Okay. Oh, right, because we had the result of the previous one. Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fashion actions. Ara.
Oh, I'm learning until I get that sweet charisma increase.
Golden.
I guess I'll learn since we're in the city.
Chad.
Rafting.
I am also going to craft.
Joyous.
JC, question. Since crafting is not typically based on checks, is the result of, like, tandem crafting each of us getting to apply 1 point of our aspect toward the other person's crafting, or...
That would be correct.
Holy true.
Okay, awesome. That makes this a lot easier.
Unless, of course, you were both working on the same project.
Mhm. Well, Rat's crafting is related to his thing. I don't know how
Yeah.
one of Hiryu's aspects would affect it, but we'll see.
At
I
the
only have the
moment,
one
you do
aspect
not
so far.
require any sky material, but it could be
Yeah.
potentially impactful later, since sky is related to like precision and math and kind of
Oh,
the
quick
nerd
math.
side of engineering.
So the engineering side of engineering.
Dang.
Alright, threat rolls.
Give me 1 second.
While Golden's doing that, let's roll our d6s.
Oh
Good thing I
boy.
have... Good thing I have that minimum of 14.
That's really not bad, actually.
19. I got 19 on my 3d6 plus 5. Jesus Christ.
God damn. Oh, Golden, yours would actually be a 20 since both you and Nara are studying.
Oh, okay.
I have a -1 intelligence, so every time I do this, I have to just kind of weep softly.
I should probably start doing another tool proficiency, considering I'm about to get expertise in tools.
Nice.
Let's see here. What would be another good tool proficiency to learn? Gamer info, pinned messages, rules.
You can always choose at a later date if you'd like.
We can
Okay.
keep going. I'm just gonna think about it. Like,
So,
Given
on
that
that note,
crafting, you get 2 attempts per block of the Bastion turn, we are going to narrate that a little bit more on the 5th or on the 6th and the 9th. No,
yeah,
6th and 10th.
I
There
like
we go.
once or at least 2 points during the Bastion turn that we
Hmm.
have the things we need to craft. Right.
Right.
I don't have the materials for it, but I know that I will be crafting.
Right. It's one's halfway through and one's at the end.
again, what is the weather?
The weather is decently nice. It's a little on the hot side, not so hot that it would be rough to go traveling, but it's pretty much as hot as this area is going to get this time of year.
Okay.
It is good that y'all are near the hills and mountains with lots of rivers nearby, otherwise it would start being pretty obnoxious.
Right. Everyone, let's subtract our lifestyle expenses. Ara,
Oh, I have already done so. I'm doing a modest.
Golden doing squalid.
I thought it was wretch, but yeah, squalid, sure.
Oh. Chad, you said you're still copying Hero Wave, right?
Yep, he's just matching
Okay.
Hero Way.
Yep. So
because
modest.
Yeah. In the index of tool proficiencies, there are inventors and engineering. Engineering doesn't have a description, so I don't know if that's actually one. Are inventors just tinker's tools?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Just wanted to double check for proficiencies, because if engineering and tinker or
Yeah, engineering
inventors
is
are
kind of
all-
empty.
Because like anything that I see for engineering, could think of for
And
engineering.
that's not
I'm
like
just analyze
There's
mechanical
not
systems
really
and
an
flow
architects
forces.
because that's more like masons, but
Mhm.
that's starting to
I-
that's starting to cut weeds.
I was gonna do leatherworking next.
That works for me.
Probably then go to weavers.
That said, Chad, since we are sharing a Bastion action, could I trouble you for a brief scene?
No. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Shortly after the party gets to the town, Herway is like crossing out a couple notes in his spellbook, and waves Rat over.
He kind of just side-eye blinks a couple times and then walks over.
I think I may have solved the issue of actually being able to work with the Starfall metal. Well, I don't have all the materials on hand at the moment, but I may be able to create a spell that replicates the effects of the magic suppression weather that we experienced during the Querax, to temporarily strip a material of its properties so that it can be worked with for a duration, but then retain its magic after the effects of the spell end.
Nods a couple of times.
I actually think we have most of the materials, but one, I need a scroll for a spell that has a similar effect, so that I can use that as a base for this one. And I think I need another destabilizing force and the proper facilities.
No aspect what need.
Well, I was hoping to borrow your Spark Spike necklace for a time to help in rendering some of the cat's love into a usable ink for the spell that I'm creating.
He's gonna shrug.
Going wild take to used to get word.
And he says a tune in Draconic. And as he pulls it off of his neck.
You can keep it, I just need it to produce fire.
He nods, understanding now what you want him to do, and not that just you need it, as he very clearly is a little more reluctant.
Fine.
Don't worry, I wouldn't use it as a material, but given its particularly strong aspect of change and creation, I think that might be useful for this process. I will have to speak with.
He was just continuing on. You go.
I'll have to speak with the developmentalists about borrowing some of their facilities, as well, they have good alchemical facilities. The hard part is going to be getting a scroll of this spell that I need. You wouldn't have heard of it. It's a spell called Magic Aura. It's an illusion that can change the way that magic targets things and creatures.
He's kind of looking at you like it's clear he doesn't really get what you're saying, but he's nodding like knowing you're saying something.
Sure.
I'm hoping that I can actually get the integrationists to lend me a scroll of it in exchange for the fact that this will be valuable information about working with the Starfall metal.
Sounds like a couple times.
And you can help make more interesting thing.
Exactly. I intend to work with you on turning that metal into something that you can use once I get this spell created.
And what do is, before even overgive, metal change ingot form.
Exactly. Proof of concept. Then we can give them information about the spell itself and about where to find the metal.
Plan sound like.
Good. We should be on our way then. Sorry if the scene went a bit long.
After a brief bit of travel to the guild, I'd like you to go ahead and make me an Arcana applying Charisma.
Okay.
As you attempt to get essentially your partial section of funding and or convincing them to put it on loan for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of show them the hypothetical formulas and just show that I have almost everything I need. But yeah.
That's enough. There's some, not quite threats, but there's, vague promises and understandings about if it doesn't end up being successful, that you'll probably have to pay it back, but
if it doesn't end up being
that.
successful, I can pay for the scroll myself.
But otherwise, it's generally pretty good, and they provide you access to the facilities you need as well.
Nice.
Meanwhile,
or the developmentalists?
the developmentalists.
Okay.
Sorry, I did kind of cut ahead.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Kaio, friend.
Yes.
The two of you are walking down the city streets. A lot of the vendors on either side are either completely huddled up into their own rooms, or the few that are out actually on the street sections tend to be selling food or chilled water in particular, as it is an exceptionally hot day.
I am observant of that.
One of them runs up to you and friend and goes, "Water for the each of you, fresh chilled with real ice. No magic."
No need.
Why would I mind magic in my water?
Is the irony lost on Kyle?
It probably is.
It's your loss. You'll find it's better than any of the rest of theirs. And they slowly back up while doing a little bit of a shimmy.
Are there like natural bodies of water here?
It is along a river.
I'll just, with all of the care, the comfort, the respect that I can muster, which is very little, do a little shape water like a flick of my wrist as a small stream of water rises from the river, and just kind of like a small burst of not rain droplets, but you know what I mean, like a pleasant misting of water on me to kind of cool me off.
All right.
Quite satisfied with magic in my water, thank you.
Works out pretty good. It is nice and refreshing.
Such a rude guy. I'm really sorry.
The market is generally abuzz with things as you go through the process of traveling down it a bit aimlessly, but trying to get a little bit of your bearings back.
Mhm.
Is there anything the two of you would like to investigate while the others are busy?
Not in particular.
Oh. I'd like to get the hot goss. I want to know what people are talking about in the city.
So, some of the big ones that are going through, go ahead and give me I guess, persuasion. It's probably best for going different places and getting the vibes.
Can I guide myself for this?
Yeah,
Or is
totally.
this... Oh, cool. 25.
That'll do. There's three pretty big.
I want to mention that friend is covered up, but his horn is kind of there.
That it's poking out a bit.
Well, it's not really poking out. He's adjusted his clothing so that there's a hole for it to go through.
Gotcha. Oh, do you want the other icon?
No, I don't have a new icon to represent that.
No, I mean like that one.
Oh. I'll take my new art if
That
that's
one,
okay.
but covered.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have an icon for that, but covered is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's this one, but covered. Got it.
Sure.
Absolutely. As you tag along with Kyle, you're able to pick up on a few of the things that he ends up learning as well. One of the more interesting parts is that apparently there's been a pretty big influx in labor these last few weeks, and there's a lot of processing going on for trying to get them sorted out to different other locations out here, so that there's a lot more of a concentration on actually trying to tame the wilderness a bit. A second part is that the guild leader of the naturalists ended up disappearing a few weeks ago.
That
So
makes
they had
sense.
some business to deal with. And the artists have a rather interesting event going on that they're planning on announcing soon. And there's a lot of rumors going on about what it could be. Some are speculating that it could be some kind of grand fight. Others are speculating that it might just be another posh show, but time will tell. A lot of people are excited because the last few times they've done these, they've been rather exciting.
Very good to know. I'm scribbling down mental notes for my little diary later.
Whoops.
So I'm traveling with friend, right?
Yep.
The leader of the naturalists gone missing. I did notice there was a lot of development out there. I wonder if that's something to do with it. This is still Alicia, right?
What do you mean?
The leader of the Naturalists is still Alicia. It hasn't changed since it was founded.
Nope.
Oh, interesting. Someone like that.
They like those 5 people were the first
Mhm.
5. They haven't been guild like the leaders of the guilds. They're just the 5 people who like sort of started them. More
So in
founders than current leaders.
Right, right. So would I remember who the current leader is? I guess if people are telling me gossip, I would maybe have heard from them while they're talking. I just don't have it written down anywhere.
When you say they're missing, do you mean like they disappeared, or they have like they left and people know that they left?
Give
Wasn't
me an
the-
investigation.
Wasn't the leader that undead guy?
I
Oh.
believe it was.
Oh no. I thought he was just someone cool. I didn't realize he was the leader. Now I'm embarrassed because I wanted to talk to him specifically. Oh well.
Yeah, you end up going around and you assemble a bit of a picture, especially from talking to some of the other people who are part of the Naturalists. That at some point he basically just got up, started walking, and said, I have some business I need to work on, and left.
Am I able to deduce if that was a
It's about the same time.
No, I was gonna say, if there were any, like, if it was very abrupt, or if there were any signs that he would have to leave soon or anything.
He stopped in the middle of gardening, so
I see.
Would it be reasonable to assume that the reason I mean, this is my own thought. The developmentalists would have wanted to build up the area around the city, and hey, with the leader of the Naturalists gone, they've got a lot less opposition to that.
that is a very valid dot being connected.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna mention that to Friend. Well, with all that going on outside the city, I'm sure he would have been very upset. Good thing he's not here to stop it, huh?
What are you implying?
Just that the developmentalists have a very particular idea of what this should look like, and as the leader of the Naturalists, well, I have to assume he would have disagreed. Now, I'm not saying they would do anything to get him out of the way, but it would make their lives a little bit easier, don't you think?
Don't you think that would be a bit extreme?
Well, it depends on how much money there is in it, I suppose.
Money.
I've heard people say if you follow where the money is coming from and where it's going, you can find the answers to a lot of your questions. This might not be one of them, but, I mean, it's a better story than somebody getting bored and leaving.
People say a lot of things. Some of which they don't mean.
And some
Other
of which
times to deceive.
they kind of laughs to himself and says, I know, but those are my favorite times. Huh. We'll find out in time.
Takes a short look at you before looking away.
I see that we are now in the Naturalists'
Yeah,
center.
you went there to get a lot more of the details about what was actually going on,
Mhm.
and getting some of those eyewitness accounts of what happened.
I'm sure. Just out of curiosity, how do people seem right now?
Some of them are on edge, in particular some of the people who are newer or younger, but a lot of the people who seem more veterans don't seem too worried about it. They have a lot of confidence in him.
Would Friend be able to recall the name?
Yeah, probably.
Would
Age
I?
should have done.
Say that again.
Adredon.
Okay.
Language I don't know.
Was that in a different language? That was supposed to be in common.
I was able to read it.
Yeah, I cannot read it.
What if I do this?
No, it's still something fascinating. Now, to be fair, I don't know Common. I know Common 3A.
What if I do that?
You should have
That I can,
both listed.
actually, I can read that.
Oh, I
but
do actually. Interesting. I can't read it.
Either way.
Indeed. I don't need to know it. I'm not the one
There
that
we
has the
go.
recollection.
No language. There we go. I can toggle that off.
Interesting. That's why I didn't know his name, because I can't pronounce that.
Anyway, once we arrive, Friend starts going around, just briefly asking people, not trying to take any more of their time than he needs to.
Right. What about?
Just if they know where he went, or if they know why he left.
One of them, give me investigation.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Can I help?
Yeah?
Can I give
you're
him
doing
guidance?
this together, aren't you?
Oh, roll again with advantage and add a d4.
Wouldn't I just roll normally if
Just
it was
roll
with
once
advantage?
again.
Oh yeah,
yes.
sorry. I meant I'm helping you. It's with advantage and I'll guide you.
Situational bonus. 1d4, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wow! They
You don't-
have it!
They have
Lower
it.
number.
Lower number.
It
You
didn't
don't
matter
manage to
here,
get
but
much
importantly, guidance is an action, and the help action is also an action. You can't help someone and guide them.
Doesn't guidance
it's
last
a
a minute?
concentration for 1 minute.
Be a reaction.
Well, I mean, there's two reasons it works. One is that it's a concentration spell, so I can cast it and then concentrate on it,
yeah.
and the other is what he said.
Either way,
Oh,
there's
it's still an
very
action, never
little.
mind.
There's very little information you get other than that he was like headed to the west.
Oh, okay, thanks. To the west, okay. Conscience is clear.
Does Friend recall what is to the west?
I mean, as far as y'all have explored, there's a little bit of the like Starfall.
Okay, that's what I was
Right.
thinking.
Like the Starfall is all the way over there, and on the actual like central area, you have what you've explored, but there's
Right.
a lot of space to the west that you don't know about.
Okay. Unless anything else comes up, Friend would probably just call it there and then leave and come back later. See if anything has changed.
Makes sense. Kaio, do you have anything else you'd like to do along your outing with friends?
Nothing nice.
Makes sense.
If I can, I'd like to do a little bit of mischief with my invisible mage hand, cause some people to be surprised by some things they discover later on. But
Makes sense.
hopefully when I'm not there.
Hiroi,
Yes.
you and Rat are traveling through the streets, gathering some of your supplies for your spell casting, some of the more mundane things, and as Rat is attempting to gather a few of the smaller pieces of equipment or like components that he might need for working on his next degree of improvement for his weapon, when out from the woodworks on either side, out comes a scurrying little beast. You're late!
Indeed, I am.
He's looking up at you with big, beady eyes. I had to steal!
As I imagine you did. But that said, Hero is going to give him the address of the inn. Meet me here tonight, and we will discuss your prospects.
Ah, trade gift.
I
Yes.
will not be late.
Yes. He turns around. Stay. And he runs off for a moment. Scurrying away.
Rat kind of looks up to Hirway.
Please tell not what rat look like to others.
No, you don't.
He like visibly wipes his brow, despite the fact that he does not sweat.
He comes running back with a small bag in one of his hands that's sort of half held and half pressed against his chest as he's running. And he looks up. Gift for friend. Gift exchange for friend. And he hands you the bag.
Many thanks.
Give me one loot roll.
One loot roll, okay.
What did
I
you
don't-
find?
I don't know. Let's find out. He found the other
Let's go
half
get
of the
going.
earth veil.
Oh, damn.
It would have been really funny if he got us a legendary item.
You know, this is much more on brand, though.
It really is.
40 pounds.
No wonder he had to basically clutch it to himself.
Very true.
Oh, we can just pass this on to our contact who can offload low-value goods.
Mm-hmm.
Many pretty things in garbage waste.
Many thanks. I will... That said, unfortunately, I don't have time right now to have a proper discussion about our work arrangement, but this evening.
Okay.
Be prepared, because I will.
Yes. Yes, very prepared. He starts waving a little too enthusiastically. He seems a lot more acclimated to society now. Perhaps that small loan or / gift of money you gave him a good chance at actually trying to learn a bit about how people interact. But then again, he did also steal and rummage through trash, so can't
What
have said
the hell,
him too
dude?
much.
What the hell do you see in him?
The fact that it can control animals.
He kind of shrugs.
Through an as yet unknown means. The way I see it, there are 3 possibilities. 1, he's a druid, and could thus give us a good in with the naturalists. 2, he's what people in the Kingdoms and Empire refer to as a scion. Someone whose mind itself is a weapon. If that is the case, then he doesn't truly realize it yet. And if that is the case, then he harbors a lot of potential.
Okay, so either way is just magic, man.
Curiously enough, a scion is essentially the opposite of magic. Magic
Opposite
doesn't
magic
affect them very
mundus.
much.
Opposite magic mundus.
Scion's powers essentially bypass magic and can shatter magic, essentially, in some cases. I don't think it particularly likely, considering how he folded to a suggestion spell, but the possibility exists if he is a raw talent, essentially. The third option, of course, is that he just trained those rats normally, and if that is the case, then, well, what's one goblin being disposed of?
He shrugs. As they're walking away, just as like the fading scene.
But have ever seen Scion?
I actually roll a history to see if I actually have ever.
Sure. It's not very
Or
likely,
actually,
but
let's do a flat d20.
yeah.
How about that?
I don't know. That sounds more like
I'd
a
say-
D100.
Yeah, probably
No.
not.
Yeah.
You might have heard from someone you trusted that they said they saw it, but
But I myself have not seen one in person. Which is probably a good thing. Let's be real.
It's probably a good thing.
Knowing what we know, there would
Mhm.
only be a couple of people it could be.
Mhm. And my life is richer for not having met them.
Joke's on you, one of them's the big bastard. You thought it was because he poisoned you.
Maybe the real Scion was the friends we made along the
Oh,
way.
true. As the evening approaches, the various groups have reconvened at their current location. Their resting spot / inn for a good few days. It's cozy. It's nice. It's nothing special.
Modest, one might say.
Modest, perchance. Kaio managed to talk his way into a... Kaio is not... Which lifestyle did he choose?
I'm sorry, which what?
Which lifestyle is he this week?
Oh, just modest.
And which one are Rat and Beeb and Hero?
Modest. That's why I
Modest,
made the
okay.
joke.
Gotcha.
It's good to be back
Redacted.
and taking
Nothing
care of
special about
business again.
Kaio.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Hero.
It's good to be back and actually taking care of business once more.
Kind of shrugs.
It's fine.
Oh, it's certainly a nice change of pace from fighting for our lives or fearing that we'll die out in the wilderness.
Is it? So, busybody many, dangerous feet legs. Voices
Fair enough.
scream, bye, bye, bye. Take hand, plant item, make pay. Dangerous, dangerous city. Like Skeleton more.
Very true.
Solve one of those problems, at least you just need to learn how to be more unapproachable. Out in the streets, you're obviously nervous and try not to get stepped on, which is why people see you as an easy mark to sell things to. If you had your usual confidence and somewhat obvious disdain for others on full display, they wouldn't approach you. They wouldn't try to make you buy things.
You disdain, just try not die.
Right.
What, just want bulldoze legs through? Actually,
he answers himself as he looks up and thinks about it.
New crafting recipe unlocked. Legs of rolling.
Broken legs.
Legs
The
of trampling.
machinations- The inner machinations of the built-to-feel giant strength begin.
So true. The design is
I know
very
it's-
cold.
I know it's very different for me to say it myself, considering that I have the height advantage, but people won't. You will always have to weave around people in crowds until you make the crowd bend to your will.
He kind of just shakes his head as the idea dispels from his head.
Whatever. Spend too much time to think how treat Pink.
Oh, is that the time? Oh. Rat, if you need any help with any of your projects, I will be happy to lend it, but I have an appointment very, very shortly.
As you head downstairs from the inn, you see his friend is patiently waiting, watching Kaio have some sort of con. Maybe successful, maybe not. Let's find out.
Oh boy.
Roll me a deception.
Oh, sure.
Sorry. I didn't have
No,
to
it's fine.
here. I did leave it.
I wasn't
ambiguous.
sure.
Ooh!
A 27.
Roll me once on the loot table and get half of that.
Sure.
Not trade, or sorry, trade good, not loot check.
So 1 gold. Hey, I'm paying for my night here. That's great.
You're paying for
Nice.
your weeks here.
Oh, damn. Nice. Yeah. So my usual con is pretty basic. It's, you know, I'm a religious man and I can help you get in the gods' favor if you'd like. These are such tumultuous times, and, well, I personally wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of a god, would you? Some
He's
people take
got-
that shot.
He's got 2 or 3 people near him at his table. Like, they're not enraptured, but they're certainly very invested. Nobody really tells them off or calls them out on bullshit. And eventually there's a few people who end up, like, trying to have actual, more honest conversations afterwards, and that ends up leading to a small transfer of wealth.
And-
After which point, Hiroe finally decides it's probably time to approach.
Fantastic. Hiroe, if you'd like, you can make an Arcana check. Because I am actually doing something here. I'm not just talking.
I very much like making Arcana checks.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
Okay. So what I am doing here is I am casting, well, pretending to cast the ceremony spell. If you've ever seen it cast, you would recognize a lot of the words that I am doing, a lot of the motions I'm doing, but I'm not using the powdered silver, and I'm not doing it very well. Just kind of like, oh yes, this, and then that for sure, yeah, It's recognizable as, that should be ceremony, right? But it's not. It's a very, a poor imitation, but it's believable.
Well, I suppose if you were to cast a spell normally, you wouldn't even be able to make the money back.
Oh. Hello, Hiroe. Have you come to gain the favor of a god?
Some would say I already have one.
Must be nice.
Ouch.
But no, I am here to gain the favor of a goblin who may or may not have any actual use.
He looks at you quizzically. The Rat King, I presume?
Indeed, I plan to treat him to a nice meal, make my presence very known, and try to find out exactly what the source of his power is.
You know, I can just make him tell you if you want.
No, I want him to think that we're friends still.
Oh. Well, a bit harder, yeah.
After all, he gave me a bag of junk I was able to offload for a bit of money.
Oh. You know, I didn't think he had any use to him, but maybe I was wrong.
Frankly, even if he doesn't have magic, I may keep him around just for that.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have friends in low places in the world.
Indeed. Often they can know things that those who stay in their ivory towers would never think of knowing.
Hayo nods. At this point, he would have kind of excused himself from the group of people that he was grifting, so that they can have this conversation in a somewhat more private fashion.
Such a kind use of words.
I am more honest than he is. I know what he's doing. So, where is this friend of yours?
Not here yet, which is to my benefit. I intend to set the stage a bit.
Sounds like fun. Do you need any help?
No, I don't think I do, actually. All I need is for you to direct him upstairs when the time comes.
Do you have a room number in mind?
I intend to borrow our room for a short duration, if that is fine with you.
Hayo nods. No, I don't know what you've got planned, but I'm excited to hear how it goes. I'll be down here for a while anyway. I owe these people their money's worth.
Indeed. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. And just kind of chuckling to himself, he returns to the group.
The dinner after a well-executed con, tastes especially sweet. Eventually, a timid goblin ends up inching their way into the area and staying a little bit near the walls for the first little bit, and ends up seeing Friend, and does not realize that it is a person, and tries hiding behind his leg for a moment while he's looking around.
Does Friend realize that he's hiding behind him before or after he actually gets there?
He realizes that you realize as he starts trying to move behind your leg. He has not successfully hidden behind it, but it is clear that he is doing so.
Having noticed him, he starts crouching down slowly and extends his hand. Well, maybe not extends because he's so close, but maybe just offers like his hand in a handshake.
There's a bit of a ah! As he backs up a bit, and then seeing what you're actually doing, like you. And he goes up and he tries very carefully to grab your hand, and it's more of like grabbing one of your fingers. He tries shaking a little bit, but it's more so just him moving his arm, which kind of pivots at your finger because he can't really move you much at all.
It is good to see you again. I had hoped the next time would not be under the same circumstance.
Yes. Very, very different. Very different. Good now. Good now. Good person. Learned. Hero, good friend.
He is. Are you looking for him?
Yes. Yes. He is here? He should be here.
I believe so.
He runs up to one of the other patrons and goes, "Where Hero? Where's the hero?"
I do see this happening, right?
Yeah.
I will wait a few moments until he is sufficiently embarrassed, and then I will just kind of walk up behind him.
At one point, he seems to not be getting embarrassed anymore after realizing that friend is here. A lot of his timidness has disappeared, and he ends up running basically like underneath the table that you're at and like running up along the side to try initiating with you after a certain number of attempts. Because he realizes that you are here as well.
Hello!
Hello, Water.
I just kind of nod. I'm taking the nickname in stride. Right. I hear you're here for a hero.
Shakes his head.
Well, and I clap my hands together and gesture with both towards the staircase. If you would just follow that staircase up to, and I will give him the room number. I don't have it because it doesn't exist.
Right.
If you just follow the staircase up there and take to this room, you'll find your hero.
And he looks at
He is
the
waiting
stairs.
for you.
Lead the way, stairs. And then, after
Can you
waiting like
read?
3 seconds, he looks back at you to see if you're laughing and runs up them.
I just call after. Wait, can you read?
He is running up.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna follow him just to make sure he goes to the right room.
You see, as once he gets to the top, he goes to that room, but he's not looking at any of the numbers, and he starts knocking on the right door.
Don't know how I did that, but okay. And I go back down the stairs. I'm enjoying myself tonight.
Hero! Hero!
As he starts knocking on the door, it opens due to the aid of an unseen servant.
Ah, very joyous. He jumps on in, faces to like look behind the door, and obviously there's nothing there, and he's briefly disoriented as he looks around and sees where you are. Where is Rat at this time? Rat is not in the room at this time.
And please have a seat. I thought to make a return gift, treating the two of us to a nice meal since you so generously offered those trinkets to me.
He waddles up and takes a seat and has a very big smile on his face.
Notably, there are 3 prestidigitation effects on at the moment. Both meals are warmed so that they look like they're still steaming. And his meal has a bit of a flavor boost to it.
This is good. He first good meal from you, and now 4th good meal from you. He does not wait for any other words and attempts to chow down on it.
I rather hope you enjoy it.
At this point, what is the general summarization of the preceding events as we move a little bit more out of character?
Yeah. Basically, as the meal goes, he's going to try and, like, ask in a conversational tone, like, how he got the name Rat King. If he knows, like, what lets him control those animals? Like, did he train them?
Wrecking? They voted.
They,
As he
the rats,
continues
they
to.
voted.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost a little bit like Rat as he's tearing apart some of the meat.
Interesting. How did they cast their votes?
He just shrugs and continues eating.
Did they speak in your mind, or in a language that the two of you shared?
I didn't ask.
Curious. Well, given that that's the case, I think the two of us will have a very, very fruitful partnership in the time to come. If you would allow it, I would help you become more than just a king of rats. I would help you become a king of beasts, great and small.
Whoa. He's in a bit of amazement and he stops eating, and you can see how he's clearly daydreaming about it. Continue.
What we have to do first is find out the nature of what endears you so much to these beasts. Find out how you make these connections. Then, and only then, we can grow your power. We can make you into the king you were always meant to be, the king that they saw you as. What do you say?
Is Rat Friend okay with this?
Well, that's frankly part of why I wanted to suggest this in the first place. If you are king of beasts, then there's no longer the worry about sharing a name.
Okay. Well, it will be easy. Ah,
Indeed, hopefully.
he continues chowing down on the food. Are there any other questions that you particularly investigate?
Not for the time being. It's obvious that he doesn't have the answers as to what the fuck is actually going on with him. So Hero is going to leave him with a gift, with another gift of 5 silver, and say, now, on tomorrow, I would like you to meet with the naturalists. Here, before you do, I will give you a letter of recommendation and ask them to teach you about druidcraft. I think you would be phenomenal at wielding such magics. And if it turns out that you aren't, they will be able to help shed light on what sort of magics you do wield exactly.
He's shaking his head. He's like, okay, yes. Whatever friend says. Thank you, Hero.
It's nothing, truly. By the way, were we supposed to have a music stream?
Don't we?
No.
Oh shoot, did it cancel at one point? I've been doing it the whole
It must have.
time.
Rip. Yeah, that's all I wanted from the Rat King.
I started streaming earlier, and that's why, like, in the pre-stream, I was like, you know, how does that sound? You should be hearing something now.
There was, it just then turned off.
Stopped at some point for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I was
Either
mostly
way.
just asking because I think I heard like little snippets of whatever song was playing through your microphone.
Ah, I see. I should turn noise suppression back on. There we go. Now we have
Definitely,
Ez.
I am not hearing anything from the stream at the moment, though.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Okay, if I do this
Hey.
now and I minimize it, does it still do it?
It's gone.
I have to have it. I have to have this open in order to. What if I do this?
Good.
This?
Yep, I can hear.
This?
Also, Fern just informed me the stream is stuck on the starting soon screen.
Oh shoot!
Not that we've had much no visuals to show up anyway, but
Yeah, there really hasn't been
fine.
visuals, so
yeah.
yeah. Whoopsie. Oh. Sure. When I said it was going to be a lot more theater of the mind today, I really meant it. For the audience too.
So,
Now, all of the members are in the inn together. The Rat King successfully accepts terms and departs. Friend is spending a bit of time with them before he heads back outside for whatever his activities of the night are. What does the party get up to?
Io, tomorrow would you be willing to go around town offloading some of these supplies together?
Oh, I'd love to.
Hiroe provides him with the specific address of their contact for unloading a lot of the
Low
what do they
value
call it?
shit?
Yeah, the low value trade goods.
Is someone
Valyria
coming with me?
gold
I might
leaf.
just doing it myself.
Maybe I have some things I need to buy anyway.
Are there any other activities the party would like to take today?
I can think of.
Sounds reasonable. I need just a moment, so I think it's a good time to take a brief intermission.
Sounds good.
I'll see y'all
I'll be
in a
right
minute.
back.
Hey! Welcome back.
Howdy, howdy.
Making extra sure to swap on in this time. It is now the 12th of High Sun. With that, Kaio has, I guess since the stream was not active earlier, one of the things I said in chat was, oops, it's supposed to be the 11th of High Sun. 31st of Late Seed was the previous time. This time
Wasn't
is
it-
now...
Didn't the session start on the 41st of Late Seed?
Not the previous one
No, this current session started on the 11th of High Seed.
of High
Or
Sun.
High Sun, sorry.
Yeah, the
Typo.
previous
I
one was the
thought we were
31st
still
of
in-
Late Seed because the that was when y'all started traveling north again during the pacifism winds.
Okay, I thought that was okay. I thought that we had made it to the city on like the 38th or something like that. My bad.
Nope.
Okay.
It was the morning of the 11th, according to my notes.
Okay. So now it's the 12th. Good to know.
Yep. And with that, Kaio has been assigned the simple task of going to the address of your special little standard trade goods contact, Valeria Goldleaf.
Knock, knock. Hello, hello.
Rat ends up having to prepare for some of his crafting, and as Kaio gets prepared to head out, is there anyone who is joining him, or is it him alone?
A hero is joining.
Hero is joining? Superb. As the two of you make your way down, it's another day, somehow hotter than the last, and it's rather obnoxious outside. Luckily for the two of you, you have a few special magical conditions to be able to make it a lot more tolerable. As you make your way through to one of the areas that's admittedly a bit more on the outsets of the city, it's in a small grove or forested area, and there is a small cabin. It's pretty clear that that is the location. It's got some nice decorations, but it's not particularly ornate. We'll put it that way. Sorry.
It looks as though this is a place.
Yeah, I'm knocking.
As you go up, you knock on the door. You hear from the inside the rather contained voice of a man who calls out, "Just a moment." A few seconds later, the door is gently opened with a resounding creak as the wood, as a man with a walking stick pulls himself into view. His head is grayed and his face is aged, but he has a smile upon his face, and he has generally good vibes as he says, "Ah, hello! How are you today, youngin'?"
Oh, I'm great, but it can only get better.
Superb. Now tell me, which one of us are you here for?
Valeria, I think. Is that her name?
Ah, wonderful. Wait, I can take over for her right now if you'd like. She's out with her mother doing a bit of hunting, but considering that I'm not as much of one for that on a day as hot as this, I'd rather offer you a bit of respite. And he moves out of the way of the doorway, but please, come in.
I look to Hiraway.
Indeed.
Certainly. We make our way in.
You take a few steps inside this multi-roomed cabin, and the there's two general things that really stick out to you. First is that there is a good variety of storage in multiple of the areas, but the second is that there are various different beasts and monsters and hunted creatures lining pretty much all sorts of sections of the walls over hearths. There are a lot of hunted creatures in the area. This family
Fantastic, we
does a lot of hunting.
I may have a second business proposition to ask once we're done with present business, actually.
Sure.
Pardon me, sir. What was your name again? I didn't quite catch it.
Glean, the Magnificent.
Salim the Magnificent. What a
Glean.
name. Glean? Oh, well, that's also quite nice.
Glean, the Magnificent. Because, I mean, and he just gestures at himself with no other words being said.
Would you mind typing out his name? I got the Magnificent, but I don't know how to spell his name. Oh! Well, he is quite magnificent, it's true.
Incredibly based.
Oh, I spelled it right. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. the Magnificent. This is a beautiful home you've got here. I can see you work quite well at what you do.
Well, I don't do too much of that anymore. I've started to settle down a lot more as mostly the two of them take up to it now. I'm much more in an information side of things.
I cock an eyebrow. Information. Anything interesting lately?
Well, you know what? Sure, let's do this formally. And he invites you to sit down at the table.
Oh. I am not hiding my excitement at all.
So, as you can clearly tell, we like to do a lot of hunting. I've started shifting a little bit more, and I've become much more of a hunter of information, of rumors, of stories, of truths, and of lies. That said, the rest of the family still has an interest in it, so while they're off doing their hunting, I'm here for mine. Anything that's a simple rumor, anything that's easy to get, like if somehow your mama or daddy was actually a different mommy or daddy, or if your lover has got another lover, or if you want the key lock to your stranger's door, I can do all that, but anything more fancy than that, and I need a payment. Now, I'm not really interested in any of your gold or silver, but more
Favors for
part-
favors.
Mhm.
Favors for favors.
There's only one sort of favor I'm particularly interested in now, and that's animal parts, if you got them. Some can't go out and do too many adventures now, so if you ask for something complex, something that takes a little bit more than just a bit of simple and easy of what I've got, might ask you to go get something for me, if that works. But go ahead, first few, keep it simple, keep it free. Leans back a little.
I'm not sure how simple this is, but do you happen to know if anybody in town even makes or sells, well, parchment made from a blink dog's hide?
I don't know anybody that has, but I know plenty of people who could.
Oh, no, that's almost as good.
Sure. Writes down a few. Yeah, stuff like that, that's free. Don't even need to break out anything fancy for that. You get the point.
No.
He slides you over a different address for the other worker. This one's particularly nice. He gestures at some of his hides that he's wearing. This, right here, his work.
Hero,
Good
do
to
we
know.
know where to find a blink dog?
No, but I had hoped that somebody in town might have some hides for sale.
Well, Glean, what do you think? you certainly seem, and I kind of gesture to the walls, flush with hides. Any blink dogs in stock?
He leans forward with a bit of a smirk on his grin, or a bit of a gleam on his face. Well, now we can strike a deal. I know exactly where some are, and I just need you to go and get them. How's that sound?
Reasonable enough if they're less than a day out.
Maybe not a day. How about 4? Could be 3 if you're fast. As he shifts around a few stones on the table.
Don't have the time, unfortunately.
A shame. Maybe somebody here. Well, I don't know.
Well, maybe when you're done with whatever you do, maybe I could help you with that. And of course, if it is ever a question of something fancy, you can always pay me later.
You are quite flexible indeed.
You don't make a good reputation in a business like this by keeping things strict.
That said, on the topic of flexibility in business, we came on account of an arrangement that we have with Valeria about offloading some miscellaneous trade goods for market price in order that she might in turn profit off of them.
That's
And
right.
to it, we brought quite a few with us. 100 encumbrance of low-value trade goods, to be precise, out of character.
Gracious.
The exchange goes swimmingly.
Fantastic.
He throws in an
Oh.
extra silver.
Oh,
Wow. 48 gold? Oh. Okay.
48.
Yippee. So we had 44, I just bumped that up to 48. Since we got 4 gold
Okay,
from 100.
got it. 4. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
so we got
like,
4
bro,
gold.
what happened?
Yeah, no. We did not get 48 gold from that. I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy.
I mean, we
Whoa.
do have.
You do have?
We do have some more things that I'd like to sell this week. Although it will be a little bit more complicated than this, gracious exchange.
I mean, no reason not to think big, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, you got any big questions you want answering?
I do, but I don't think you can help with any of them. It's unfortunate.
He has a wicked smirk on his face. Try me.
Well, that brief interlude of peace recently, do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything exciting happen in the city? I mean, it must be quite strange. People can steal, but you can't stop them from stealing. That kind of thing.
That ain't a big deal at all.
Oh.
You don't even need to worry about that. That's simple. You could get that if you just listen around long enough, talk to a few people. There's a bit of an incident. Sure, you can't stop them now, but people got good enough ways to keep track, to identify, to learn through it, and not too many people are dedicated enough or perhaps motivated and detached enough to leave the city forever, so anybody who
So it's-
tried, you'd have to be one to run away, and the few that did try to do a bit of burglary found themselves not even able to break doors, so
Sorry, it's just kind of funny. I'm glad I wasn't here when that happened.
you'd have to be in a particularly fortunate, or I guess unfortunate situation to both be destitute enough to be motivated to do it and have no ties in an area so desolate. I mean, where would you even go? Mardo? Partiza?
Sure.
Like, all of those, there's enough of an influence. You'd have to go live out in the wilderness, and I think most people would rather stay.
So there really isn't much theft in the area. That's interesting. Making
Oh.
enemies here is a good way to end up
That's
dead, is what
not-
you're saying.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that not too much theft happens while people are around. I mean, think about it. How are you gonna steal something if, even if they're not there, you gotta break into the place somewhere? Sure, might be able to teleport, but you people tried it. Didn't work out too well. Wouldn't let them, so it was certainly interesting. Now, Marina, she was pissed. Let me tell you. She saw this wonderful elk out there while she was hunting up in some of the hills northwest of here. Like, practically had horns made of gold, right? And she just could not fire it, and she was mad for days.
So we had a similar experience, though thankfully it ended up in our favor and not the opposite way. Well, Glean, if I think of a question that fits your talents, I'll definitely be making a house call.
Sounds good. Glad your ears are still intact, otherwise I wouldn't be able to yap off on you. And what about you, hero? Of note, you hadn't really introduced yourself.
Oh, so you already know me. That makes this easier.
I know anybody if I need to. That's
That's
part of
fair.
the skill set.
And it's good to hear that you've cultivated it so thoroughly. I can't say that I have any questions myself at the moment. I still need to think of a new plan now that the Link Dog parchment seems to be a bit out of reach, but rest assured, if I have questions, I will also seek you out.
You know what, you wanna... I guess I was being a bit opportunistic, trying to get you to go hunt down some. I'd really been looking forward to getting a bit more of their tails, but... I can do a quick check if there actually are any in the city. Can't say it's particularly common, so...
Or if
Breathes for a
anybody
few months.
hides for sale. Or if anybody has any hides for sale.
Doesn't look like it. You're gonna have to go get some yourself, friend.
Alright. Or there are
That's
other
something you're
options
interested
for-
in?
Not at the moment. Again, time is somewhat of the essence. We have a busy couple weeks ahead of us.
Well, if you ever do, he inscribes a small arrow on a stone and gives it to you. Go get
Thank
some, give me half of it, just the tails, and I'll call it even for you.
Alright.
It currently points to the southwest. Even as you turn the stone, the arrow continues pointing in the same direction. They hate it when I give these to them. Just ruins all the fun. I never really understood the appeal. He doesn't say appeal. I never really understood the worry. But go,
Thank you for your
you're
hospitality and the generous gift.
and if there's anything else I can do, please stay. But it sounds like you're busy and you've got places to be.
Indeed, unfortunately. It's been a pleasure.
Indeed, Glean, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and well, stay informed.
Careful, Kyle. Have a good one.
I consider giving him a wink, but I just give him a nod.
He gives a gentle nod to Hiroi as the two of you make your way away. Once you're reasonably out of earshot, you feel comfortable discussing the situation?
I didn't realize we actually made enough of a name for ourselves in the city after we spent so long outside of it.
I'm wondering if maybe that was more to do with Valeria than anything else. Did we find out who Glean was in relation to her?
Seems as though they at least share the house. I'd assume father or something like that, considering that he's getting on in years.
It would make sense, and she's hunting with her mother. I mean, hunting at a sprightly age like that, I am impressed.
Indeed.
Really
Let's see
is
if
a
we
word
can
for
take
that.
care of some.
I used the wrong adverb, but it's fine.
Let's see if we can't offload some of these other trade goods in a timely manner.
Well, might as well get to it. And so we go looking for a place to sell a
Go
whole bunch
ahead
of
and
things.
make your rolls. Meanwhile,
So
Hmm?
let's sell our premium ones first. Fuck, where are the rules from that?
meanwhile, Rat, friend, what get up to ye today?
Likely just preparing his rifle stuff. Rat really doesn't have any social thing that he wants to do in the city besides be there when they're dealing with turning in all of the quests and preparing his rifle.
Gotcha. And the
And
turning in the
friend-
quest thing is probably something that we wait till,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sephred is here.
Mm-hmm.
Brent doesn't really want to be in the city at all, so he's probably either at the Naturalists area or probably hanging outside of the city.
Makes sense. Naturalists are being pretty, friendly for it. Oh yeah, that is true. Rat. Probably
Hold on.
happens after over like 2 or 3 days. What would you like to use your 1 free point on?
Hold on, I'm mathing out the trade good stuff right now since I'm the inventory keeper.
That is reasonable.
Thank you.
10, so it would be 15 gold, 5 silver, 4 high.
And that pushes you
Holy
over. Now is when you are technically level 6.
And then
Yippee!
the roll for the mediums.
Go gadget Gaio. 20 bonus.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And that is for how many of the medium do we sell at once?
Yeah, it's 25 encumbrance regardless of.
25
Yeah, it's always 25, but I mean, this is still pretty
25
fantastic
or
so far.
less. Right. It's however.
2.5 times
however many you have, right? But we have exactly 125, so we have 5 of these, but we only get 3 rolls, so yeah.
One roll for today, but actually, yeah, we can just
Well, it's
we can roll all of them now and then.
Right.
We'll say that
You're
it was
not
not the-
particularly under pressure to leave, so
hmm
you can roll the whole
Sure.
thing.
Okay. Next one.
Yeah, we take it.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Or-
It's medium. I don't. That was a
Actually,
5
yeah.
on the D20.
Okay, yeah, let's hold off. Because then we still get 3 opportunities next Bastion turn, so... Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay,
That's why
yeah.
we hold it off.
Mhm.
That is 3.75. 3.753. Gold, 7, silver, 5, copper, 25, medium, 5, 23.
Did you do 2 for high? Or did you not have enough for
Oh, we
2 for
only
high?
We only
sold
had
one
20.
for...
Ah, gotcha. Yep, and that's all of them for this week.
Oh, and we can turn in skulls as well.
Right, but we're not turning in quests while Tefford is away.
That's fair.
I'm gonna put my 1 free point. And then I was going to also buy a point with 1 gold.
Yep.
As
That
well.
would be your second half of the turn of the Bastion turn, but that's okay. Let's
We
go
have
ahead
a
and get
second
the-
Bastion turn.
Yeah.
That we're
Well,
going to use.
You
I
do
believe.
also have that. But right now we're only handling this Bastion turn, one of which
Yeah,
is
no,
your
no.
free point and one of which is your 1 gold. So if you want to go ahead and detract 1 gold, and we'll just talk about
I
how it
already
happens over the
detracted it.
course of it. Yep.
Don't worry.
I'm gonna go for 1 in accuracy. So let me 0 out of 2 this, and set accuracy to 1,
Mm-hmm.
and trigger 0 out of 2, and then trigger 1. Trigger and accuracy are going up to 1.
Alright. For trigger, that one is a fixed one for the first result. Let me go ahead and pull that up. For the accuracy one, roll me a d4.
3.
3. Alright, 3.
That is the 3rd highest number I could have rolled.
Mm-hmm. Of note, they are not...
Or the 2nd highest number.
Yeah, they are not mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
That one is... You improve a lot of the handling and a lot of the work around the handle and like underneath the barrel so that you've got a much better grip on it. Essentially, you've unlocked a form of steady aim. It's not advantage, but if you do use your bonus action, you can get a +3.
Okay.
Hi. Which in
And
some cases might
and
be
you need
better
to
than
make sure that you're not moving that turn. Basically, being able to actually gain benefit out of, okay, let's just focus, and just being able to hold it and take a shot cleanly. As for trigger, that one is...
How do I confirm once I've edited it?
At the top there's a little save button, and like for some reason
there
it's
it is. Thank
in
you.
line with like the bolding and text options.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. The other one, trigger. I've got it written somewhere on this page. I'll find it. Note to self: reorganize this later. I don't have this written down. Which one did you get for your Action 1 upgrade?
I know that one of them, I either. So the effects that I have was the dice to hit was increased. I think that
Right.
was barrel, and +1 damage, which I think was the barrel. I have. It went from 3 actions, or quote unquote actions, like 3 things, to 2 things to reload, and it stores up to 2 rounds.
Right. Yeah, that was action. Okay. Yep. So that- right. Normally this was going to be the second one, but I think these two are interchangeable, and I think it's more thematic given the other upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, you can fire both of them at once, but it re-increases the time to reload by 1 when you double fire.
I already have extra attack functionally through.
Oh shoot. Okay, I'll rework that. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, because storing up to 2 rounds was my enabling to use extra attack.
I
Because
forgot
I can
about
actually
that.
shoot twice. Yeah.
I did not realize you got extra attack.
Yeah, it's part of the Forge Adept.
Yep, Forge Adept.
Shoot. Alright, I guess we will go with the
Yeah, figure it out whenever.
Well, no,
Yeah, I don't mind.
I've got the other
having
one
it.
that was originally the option one, so I guess that works. Going with the if it's like either the same turn as in certain circumstance. I guess in regular D&D they would phrase it. When you reload up until your next turn, you can deal bonus damage to people within 30 feet of you when you fire. You deal an additional d6 of damage from like having a good spray fire. How do I phrase this? I've got a view in my mind of it.
He basically got the fucking monster under critical range. I'm not wrong, am I?
This is a
I have no
fucking
idea
stupid
what you're
ability. I
talking
don't know why I
about.
have this written. I'll do something different. That
Yeah.
sucks.
I'm not worried about it. Just
Yeah.
write something, right?
Trigger 1. Yeah,
you don't
and
have to have it now.
my 3 and 4s I have written are definitely not something I'm giving you right now, so
Certainly. Considering the 3 and 4s require an enormous investment.
okay.
Then I will write next to my trigger 1. Oh, I changed the. I changed my sheet and it didn't save. There we go. Save that.
Yep. +3 bonus action not moving.
Yep. I
Good.
just have to, in parentheses. No, it's in my biography that has all of this tracked down right
Gotcha.
now. 0 free points, and then next to trigger, I will write not yet implemented.
Valid.
Yell at JC.
Friend Kaio. Hero.
Yes, sir.
What else are you doing on this day as the day nears the evening?
I'm going to try and find a separate material that has to do with moth. Potentially seeing if the small red potion that's in group storage might work for supplying that.
Why does it keep... Stop fucking pausing. You know,
if
over the
that-
course of the evening, you can probably study it. Small red. So, one of the things you'll know, since it's obviously sort of a narrative thing, but it is also something that your characters kind of know about, is being able to identify properties of things based on their own. What you're able to guaranteed get is that Rat is able to successfully identify that it has Forge. Friend is able to identify that it has Scale. There is one other aspect that is not currently communicated. Would you mind giving me an Arcana for it specifically as part of your Bastion turn. I think it's fair to
Yes,
have
please.
a partial. I think
Hmm.
one thing I'm gonna do is that when you take your crafting action, like each of the two, you can probably partially identify or search for if something has an aspect. So you can say, does this have this aspect? Yes or no? And I think that's valid for each of the two, because that way it keeps it slow, but it also allows it to be modular.
I don't
He's-
suppose fortune from the many would help here, would it?
Hmm?
I don't suppose fortune from the many would help here, would it?
Is that like the flat plus?
Yeah, it's a racial bonus.
Also, I think if I'm
Or-
doing it the way I'm doing it, like I just suggested, I don't think that should be a roll.
Okay, okay.
You know. Yes, it does have moth.
Okay, good. All right. So, I got my little job on the 13th, but then when the actual crafting goes, I think I have my recipe.
Does anyone else have
do too.
anything to perform on the evening of the 12th? Alright. It is the
People
morning.
watching. That's about it.
It is the morning of the 13th, and the rest of you notice that Hero A is beginning to dress up in particularly slightly nicer clothing and is a bit more serious today.
Going on a date?
No, I have worked with the developmentalists.
Oh,
They called
Oh.
specifically for me,
well.
and I aim to impress,
That's what's said.
Why?
so I can get more work with them in the future.
No, why call?
Well, I was originally sent here as an emissary from my home city.
Okay, but why call?
I don't follow.
Why they call you?
Because I do good work.
He like throws his hands up.
Why they call you?
Because it's in the terms of why I came here in the first place. I'm supposed to make connections with various factions here, and I made a good impression on the developmentalists.
He kind of puts his hands on his face.
The answer is don't know why calls you.
Oh, you mean the nature of the job?
He just kind of knocks on his head.
Right. Apologies. I am supposed to help in essentially processing prison labor. Giving them proper assignments and sending them on their way to hopefully benefit us all.
What?
How does prison labor benefit us all?
What is prison?
Pio, to answer your question, it benefits us by ensuring that those who have wronged the societies of the kingdoms and the empire have a chance to pay back their debt to society. It ensures that they are building up one of the soon-to-be great bastions of society rather than tearing it down. And it gives them a chance to earn back their freedom eventually.
Right. And how long does it usually take?
Well, you would have to take it up with either the Empire or the Kingdoms. It depends on which nation this batch of prisoners came from.
Well, not really my problem.
If you wanted to give a more specific answer, you could say that you wouldn't generally get somebody being sent down here if it was less than a year, because any less than that and they'd probably work locally. And if it was ever some sort of thing that would warrant more than probably like 10 or 15, they'd probably have a different sentence than labor if it was that severe.
Mhm.
So you have a range of 1 to 15 years, Smile.
I mean, if the alternative is execution or just permanent imprisonment, I suppose that's better. I just know I wouldn't be very motivated. But I'm spiteful like that.
And to answer your question, Rat, prison is a way to contain those who have caused grievous harm to others, to prevent them from causing more harm until such time as we find out what to do with them.
Fine. If commit,
He kind of just rubs his head.
if they commit a crime, just make them leave or kill them.
That is often the result in a lot of cases, but in some cases the crime is small enough that working to pay off their debt or serving a sentence away from others, a temporary exile, let's call it,
Whatever.
is enough to pay back the debt.
The things you lesser races have to do to get along with
I
each
know.
other baffle me daily.
I know. But that said, I have an appointment to keep.
Just a question before you go. Is this the kind of thing where you can ask questions, or do you just have to kind of help things move along?
Both, in a sense.
We, and I kind of gesture to friend, have been taking our time around the city and noticed a few interesting things. The leader of the naturalists has taken his leave, and there's been quite a lot of expansion around the city. I was just wondering if you might be able to ask the developmentalists how they feel about his absence. Whether that's
I
made things
can-
easier for them, perhaps.
I can do that while I'm handling the sentencing of some of them.
Oh, I appreciate it.
After all, if they're going to help in the expansion, knowing more about the expansion efforts would be useful information.
And I will admit I have a personal interest in knowing the dynamics of the city.
Indeed. Hero is going to just regularly cast Phantom Steed. They're not going to bother with the ritual component. As a horse that has essentially a body like a starless night and a mane made of the aurora manifests in front of him, and he gets on it and starts heading at a leisurely pace toward the developmental assembly.
Indeed. You make your way towards the location. While you do, the other 3 party members are left behind to discuss their opinions on the matter slightly. If they have opinions to discuss, that is.
Well, I definitely have opinions. I've heard rats. I'm kind of curious what a friend thinks of this prison labor situation.
He does not comment on it.
I think it's nasty, but it's got nothing to do with me, so just a shrug.
Does Rat talk about Hero behind his back?
I
So-
said he would be right back.
Yeah, it's been more than
I'm back.
15 seconds.
I just got
Ah.
back. My headset apparently didn't want to connect until I was very close to my computer. Otherwise, it would have been 15 seconds.
Awkward. With Hiroe heading off to his locale, the rest of you are left a bit alone to potentially talk about it or give alternate viewpoints if any of you wish to discuss.
I said I thought it was nasty. Friend did not comment.
Rat just kind of shrugs.
If what need do, I need do.
I don't really need to. It's. I don't think you care. It is those in power using their power to take advantage of those without. It's the natural course of things, but it's still kind of a shame to see it.
Rat kind of shakes his head.
No, not natural course of things. Unnatural course of things. Unnatural things. Small.
He kind of like grumbles a little bit, starts to talk in Draconic, realizes none of you understand Draconic, gets frustrated with himself again.
Hey, question. Sorry. Can I learn a language using the learning system? Is that possible? I may need to start studying rudimentary Draconic at some point.
It would be very funny if you just had like 1 point of understanding in Draconic and you're like, oh, I know that slur.
that's exactly what it would be.
Learning Draconic, except it's only the slurs. You learned it from Rat.
Oh my god, if
I
Rat
just
ever
dropped the
were to
F-bomb.
teach it.
You are far too stinky to learn from Rat.
That's true. He would never teach me. I'd have to go find somebody else.
He genuinely would not, yeah.
I know he would. Like, you don't get to know my language. I will not allow this to happen to me.
Is why I always have issues with not kobolds. Second born more okay. No, that's not common word. Dragonborn. Firstborn. Ugh, common weird. Second to come after firstborn of dragon.
He's like trying, very clearly trying to linguistically place the grammar, like physically in the air in front of him.
Do I have any idea what he's talking about? It doesn't. I mean, I think I know what a Dragonborn is, but
I
the way
definitely
he's
know what Dragonborn is.
I know, but the way that he's saying it is like, what? First, second? I don't really understand these directions, but look, all I'm saying is if you've got power, you use it. Otherwise, what's the point?
And use power. Use power in ways that help. Not helped by hurt others around. Clearly,
He kind of gestures towards you.
things like you think so.
Mm-hmm.
When Rat had no power. Was given correct kind of power
As he points to his head.
to help work best. If was in you,
As he kind of gestures towards you and then the city around.
home place, with just nothing be.
Well, I think people that think like me get a lot done. You noticed, I would think, as we came back to the city this time, it was a little bit different, right? Now, that wasn't people working together for the good of man and all of that. That was, oh, here's a resource, let me exploit it. It works.
Not about good of man or good of whatever. Good for.
As he kind of grumbles and decides to use the words, the terms on your level.
Good of man is just good for man.
Mm-hmm.
All benefit when all benefit.
Oh my god, he's a communist. Get
I
him.
mean, we've been new, but... And Kaio's a rainbow capitalist.
Is issue.
Oh no!
As he gestures towards, again, you.
your kind. Decide, take, decide.
As he kind of gestures his hands like pushing things together.
Push together wealth. Not use when I'll pile in cage.
No, I feel like I go through my wealth pretty quickly.
Well, he
There
kind of
are
gestures
those that
Not-
hoard it
not
like a dragon.
You, not you.
as he kind of gestures largely around you.
Kaio completely knows what you're saying. He's just kind of fucking with you.
Oh boy.
He just kind of shakes his head.
Maybe not capable of understanding.
No, I understand. It's just has nothing to do with me.
Elder, not elder, because have some power or wealth. Elder because decide as group is elder. Because has knowledge, valuable, good place to put. Rat not change Warren because rat have money change Warren. Rat freedom change Warren. Rat change Warren because rat best to change Warren. So put in place change Warren.
There are so many things. Your insight is not very good, right?
No.
There's a lot going on behind his eyes, but I don't think you'd pick up on any of it.
Minor kobold, mine, because good at mine like mine, not because need mine to live.
So, to you, people should have to do the things that they're best at, because that's good for everyone.
Not have to, but able to. Each ability according, need according.
So what if you're really bad at something, but you want to do it anyway?
And try and learn.
Oh. That's surprisingly nice. I think if you do that here, you just die.
Yes. Is why
And then he gestures largely, his arms kind of swinging around at this point.
you not good.
Kaio just kind of shrugs, gives another laugh, and says, I don't think I ever said we were.
He kind of puts his hands up.
Exactly. Or not. Don't claim to be. Don't expect to be.
Don't really want to be either.
Don't be surprised when called lesser then.
Oh, I've never minded that.
Not you.
As he like waves his hands around. You're beginning to pick up that the word for you collective is different in Dragon.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
Draconic.
that's really because the way that he's using it, like, I'm the one you're talking to. I know you're talking about all of us. Actually, you'll say that, sure.
Y'all.
You know what? I will say that. I understand you mean, and he kind of does the same hand gestures you've been doing, but not quite as animated. I understand. Points at you. You mean gestures wildly. You, but I, and he gestures to himself, am the one talking to you. I will respond. It feels like a conversation, a dialogue that way, and not just, opinions.
He kind of tilts his head.
Not said opinion yet.
No.
Well,
And nature of world.
what's your opinion? I'd love to hear it.
Opinion on what?
Anything.
Why?
I'm nosy.
He kind of narrows his eyes.
Why?
Do I need a reason? It's just fun.
Okay, Rat crosses arms.
Okay. Want rat opinion?
Oh, of course.
Some kobolds say should try teach lesser race how act like kobold. How do things in kobold way. How worker man need idea of worker kobold and stand strong. Rat thinks not possible. Rat think worker man too stupid. Too happy eat pigsty. That rat opinion.
Well, you've got Hero under your thumb. That's something.
What?
Feels like Hero does basically anything you tell him to. That's progress for you, isn't it?
Has nothing to do with wider capable man learn how behave like kobold.
I disagree. I think, you have 1 step forward, you can have 2 steps forward, then maybe 4 or 6. Steps aren't really the right word here, but even 1 is progress.
He kind of touches his head.
Okay.
He points one hand up, and he starts sitting down, opens up his journal, writes it in Draconic, what he wants to say, and then word for word actively goes to physically translate it so that he can say what he wants to say more clearly.
Very stylish. It takes a while.
And after he's finally finished scratching, he holds his journal up and he says,
One example of
as he kind of narrows his eyes,
one learning does not mean all can. Anecdotal evidence not representative of whole.
Would Kaio know the word anecdotal? Maybe.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm gonna say he would because he's a charming man. He knows how to speak. So, and I do hear you. Why don't we look at it from the other way around? We're not saying everyone can. I'm sure they can't. I'm sure many can't. But if you'd ever thought nobody could, nobody would, well, if one can, some can, maybe many can. I mean, you've spent, not most of your life, but almost most of your life by then, right? That's 4 people and very little of anyone else. Have you tried other people? I don't think I've really seen you do that.
The people around you all spend most of life
as he puts in air quotes as he mocks your voice,
together still don't behave like. Even if did is only minor evidence, but don't.
And as he says the word evidence quickly, you see him glance down at his notebook where he has it written down as he glances back up.
I just think maybe you're giving up too quickly. I don't know.
Not
Not that I
give
really
up.
care, but
Not something worth do.
oh.
Not need
Oh.
experiment to see grass taste like grass.
I don't know. I thought it was more fun when you were trying to fix things instead of just looking at them and saying, "Oh, isn't that bad?"
Is not broken.
You seem to think it is.
Not fix lion because eat face. Lion just eat face.
No.
Not fix man because exploit man.
Mhm.
Just exploit.
And Kaio's going to try,
Why
he's
are
kind of
less-
counting on his fingers, starting with his pinky. So, you don't like it. You can't change it. You won't try to change it. But you will still lament it.
Does Rat know what lament means?
I don't know
He
if
knows what it means in Draconic. He does not know what it means in Common. He's just gonna stare at you a little blankly.
You'll be sad that it's like that. or annoyed or something.
He's kind of counting word by word what you're saying to recollect and kind of physically translate it in his head as he goes through it. He's like, you see him go like, for each of the little things you said, he'll pull out a finger, nod yes to it, pull out a finger, nod yes to it, as he's thinking about each individual one and then cross-referencing them as a list.
That's kind of why I did it, yeah.
He puts his hand together.
Yeah.
Oh. That's fine then, yeah, I get that.
He's gonna write down like 2 more words that he's gonna try and translate, and these are words that he's not going to be able to translate super well, so it's gonna take him a little bit of more time. Probably less time than the whole sentence that he wrote down, but like relative to each word, much more time.
Just recognize.
And then he's looking at it for a while.
Material reality.
I don't have any idea what you mean when you say that, I'm sorry.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders.
What think, friend?
As he looks up, immediately dragging him into the conversation.
What is friend's position on the economy?
His position is he has 1 gold piece given to him from Bittertrunk to remind him that all mortals care about is greed.
No.
You know, for some non-humans, with Kaio being like one of their primary experiences with humanity, it's not a good look.
It really isn't.
To be fair, though, Rat groups humanity with the rest of the sentient races, so...
And that's great! Yeah, no, that makes me feel so much better! It does not!
So don't worry, not only are you a representative of humanity, you're a representative of all sentient races other than kobolds.
That's what I mean!
Does that mean that Tefred's also a representative?
Yep.
Yeah, but he's too nice.
Yeah, but he's not here.
Rat thinks Tefred's a little dumb. Rat doesn't think Tefred is malicious in the way that he thinks that Kaio is. Rat just thinks he's not smart enough to understand.
He's
You know
too
what's funny?
naive.
Kaio also thinks that. But in a different direction.
Does Hiroe also thinks that, doesn't he?
About which person?
Tefred.
About Tefred being too naive. He's competent, but
Hiroi does not think that Tefred is naive. Hiroi thinks that Tefred is... I'm trying to think of a good way to actually put it.
Here, Rat doesn't think that he's dumb. Rat thinks that he's an idealist, so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, Hiroi thinks... Yeah, idealistic is the word I would use. Because, like,
Well,
obviously
Rat thinks of
not-
him not as idealistic, but as a an idealist in the Marxian sense. Like someone who does not like think about material reality and focuses on making society better without recognizing the forces that actually make it better. The idea of we should have a utopia, I want to make a utopia, rejecting the understanding of like the things that are happening right now.
Okay.
Like the people who cope who are just like, it's time for a revolution, ignoring the material circumstances that lead to revolution.
Kaio sees Tefred and sees someone who wants to trust people so badly that he will allow himself get into very dangerous situations.
Yep. Anyway, does friend weigh in on his statement about his 1 coin?
Who said it? Or no, I'm thinking of something else.
Rat dragged you into the conversation trying to ask your opinion.
On economy?
Basically, Rat.
Not
So the
necessarily about the
gist of
economy,
Rat
just
was
like-
saying that men are less than kobolds because men cling to wealth and greed and revel in the slop that their betters give them, instead of sharing their boons equally. Instead of those who can do work do the work they can. Instead of existing as a group, they exist as a hierarchy.
No.
I guess then Friend would ask what he thinks Friend is then.
Rat just kind of looks up. Rat kind of shrugs.
Not really know yet. Are strange thing. Not seem exhibit quality men, but not sure.
He takes the single gold coin out of his pocket and bends down and holds it out. Does this make me a man?
He kind of looks at it. He shrugs.
Maybe. Do you hoard it? Do you hold it because of value? Do you hold it because what can do? Do you hold it help self? Do you hold it help others? No thing evil. How use thing evil?
It was a gift from Bitter Trunk. He gave it to me so that I may be reminded of the greed of men.
Hmm.
He kind of shrugs.
Greed is bad word. Not represent understanding.
He kind of scratches his chin.
I don't think
Might
Rat
call
was
it greed
prepared-
to pull all silver out of ground, but if all silver used to create things that help progress world, progress society, not greed.
And he doesn't say society. He says it in the most fucked up way imaginable. Probably
And
something
if-
like
Sakai good tea.
And if the land suffers for it,
If land suffer for it, then man suffer for it too. Land can't live. No land. Eventually hit point where if can't live, can't live.
then that would be greed, would it not?
Perhaps. When Cobalt dig cave, destroy ground, but not destroy more ground need, because destroy more ground need, cave fall in, kill all.
In that, you are different from men after all.
he nods.
Is why call men lesser. Some kobold want teach men how be. Don't believe possible. Not many kobold want teach. Mind.
Whether you realize it or not, that is what you are doing.
He kind of tilts his head.
Have made clear don't believe men can.
You are doing without trying.
Kind of shrugs his shoulders. He doesn't really understand what you're saying, but he doesn't necessarily have a problem with it.
With that, do y'all mind if we move on? I would like to finish this next scene, and then we can do our final calculations for the crafting, and then we will move on to the end of the Bastion turn and call the session. Hiroi,
Yes.
you arrive at the prescribed location in a field somewhat nearby the developmentalists. There are a few people there already. Most of them are rather taken aback by the hot weather, but there's a few of the porcelain guard there to help alleviate the situation a bit, both with a small amount of casting of prestidigitation to keep cold water at hand, as well as general fanning of the area. And after making some rather good introductions and maintaining a very good court of things, there is a gentle marching as a rather sizable selection of people, probably about 80, are let in with a bit of a military contingent alongside them. They get broken up into a few different groups, including one of which, a selection of 8 or so people, which gets assigned to you to handle. You're given instructions to help make your own best judgment call for each person and determine where they can best be handled. Some of them might be good for some of those new, recently opened tin mines. Some might be redeployed to Kark, given where it is now for woodcutting. Others might be on like road construction duty, farming, or if they have a specific technical skill, they might be sentenced to work somewhere in the city or, another specialized job. Sound good?
If there's any particularly suited for road construction, he's going to ask that they be sent specifically to finish connecting the road to Midstone to better establish a route to Bartiza.
So be it. You were given
Otherwise,
permission
yeah.
for such an action?
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Tin mines and Kark primarily.
Well, it's more on like a case-by-case basis.
Okay. Yeah. So are there any with particular technical skills?
Well, first one that comes up is a pretty strong orc. He ends up being rather resistant to a lot of the questions that you're asking. He doesn't really communicate much. You ask questions about if he has any like skill sets, if he even speaks common, he just keeps looking away at you, like trying to keep his back upright and just looking past you, trying to ignore you.
I'm afraid if you won't actually answer, we will have to send you to the tin mines. After all, someone of your build would be very well suited to that sort of work.
You give a brief signal, and a few of the others lead him away into that designated group. The next person you get a little bit of actual communications with. They're here for fraud, and despite them obviously claiming that it's not the case, there's records on hand that one of the others provides to you that shows pretty clear indication that they were like editing documents and lying on various different reports in attempts to like have a commercial con. Person is of middling build.
As it turns out, the quickest way out of the consequences of this fraud is, in fact, to help bridge the gap where crime once created a divide between truth and fiction.
Would you mind checking your mic? Is it a little cutting out for everyone else?
Yeah, it's hard to understand what you're saying.
Testing.
Roll
Can you guys hear me?
BDQ!
Yeah, that's a
I
little
can
better.
hear you. It's just while you're talking, it feels like you're either getting away from it or something's happening.
Testing.
Whoa.
Oh, that is a different microphone.
Testing.
Also a different microphone, but
If I
audible.
turn you down a bit, speak a bit. How bizarre. Uh-oh. Headset has bugged.
I see. Unlucky.
Testing?
Oh, that's
Oh,
working.
there we go. There you are.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Essentially, it was saying that where the guy's fraud created a rift between truth and fiction, he will be helping bridge the gap between settlements. Quite literally, he'll be
Very
helping
so.
with the bridge construction.
He tries to beg for a moment for something else, given that, and he even tries going for a cell. Like, look at me, I'm weak. I couldn't possibly. And I assume he probably just signaled for him to go over.
He's going to say one other thing. Well, it's either that, chopping wood, or mining tin. Frankly, I'm doing you a favor.
You can see as there's a very heavy gulp as he slowly moves his way over to the designated area without having to be dragged. The third person comes to you sternly and resolutely, but also somewhat humbly. They are exceptionally cooperative with your means. They were charged with thievery, and he completely owns up to it. But he does have a request to make of you.
Let's hear it then.
His daughter and his wife were also charged and were brought along and are a few slots behind him. And he broadly and drastically proclaims their innocence, and especially his daughter, that they had nothing to do with it. He doesn't care what happens to him, but please take care of them. Please give them something easy.
We can try and give them something in the city so that they aren't exposed to the creatures outside.
His face softens and he has a slight glint in his eye, and he thanks you and asks where he needs to go.
Down to Kark. If they're going to be doing work in the city, then the materials that you provide by working there should aid them in their work nicely.
He moves on to it. Two more people pass uneventfully, and you get to a woman of very strong build, followed by a somewhat younger daughter, who is of, despite being rather young, she seems to have a few scars and a good bit of muscle under her build. These appear to be the two of them that they're speaking of. The woman is a bit dismissive at first, and the daughter tries to, get her not to be. She's obviously proclaiming her innocence and is doing it a bit rudely, but the daughter's trying to be much nicer about the situation.
Are there any designations available for, construction within city borders?
Yep.
Set them off to that. If they both got strong builds, they'll be very useful for that sort of thing, and keeping them out of the dangers outside the city.
The both of them?
Yep.
So be it. The last one is one who's rather frail and has magical restraints on, and their mouth is also bound, and you get the simple statement that you can only ask them yes or no questions. They are apparently a somewhat dangerous wizard who committed a fair few acts that are just kind of broadly disruption of processes and causing a lot of while not being directly responsible for crimes, providing a lot of support in a criminal network.
To the mind.
And with that, you get your pay.
Yippee! One
They thank you
whole
for
goal.
your services and are glad to have trusted you in it. The entire ordeal probably takes about 3 hours or so in total, given proper processes and actual questioning that is mostly skipped by here.
Hmm.
Later.
Yeah.
It's a bit more very early into the afternoon by the time you regroup with the rest of the party. Kaio and Rhett are probably still bickering.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. Kaio now understands Rat's opinion and doesn't really want to change his mind because he thinks it's kind of funny. But he also likes to absentmindedly bicker because he finds that entertaining.
Is it clear to people who aren't Rat that Kaio is probably trolling just a little?
I mean, that's why I asked if his insight was good, because it would be
Hmm.
immediately obvious if it
but
was...
okay, it is obvious to other people. Got it.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, it would be immediately
Got it.
obvious to anyone that he's not really, like, disagreeing with him or trying to, like, convince him of anything. It's just kind of like, but what if? Yes, but what about? But have you considered that kind of a thing?
He's getting in on the free marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, no, he's sea lioning.
Kyle's such a fucking scumbag.
Yes.
And I'm saying that as the one who just sentenced like 8 people to labor.
Yeah, but you were probably more polite about it.
Some
Listen,
of
you
them.
didn't sentence anyone, you sorted them.
The
Okay, fair
sentencing
enough.
was done before you got there.
Hmm.
What kind of a reputation must you have to be considered the expert at sorting human labor, though? That's kind of...
There was a good selection of other people.
Sure,
Hmm.
but...
Well, you figure, back in the day, I was both a diviner and an auditor, so...
Oh, no, it makes sense. It's just, you don't have any moral... This is why we're friends.
Speaking of,
I feel like it's kind of a one-sided friendship at some points.
true. Speaking of, as Hiroi
Yes.
gets back, he's got a bit of sweat on his brow. He's done a good job at making sure to contain himself with the heat and not get too worked up. But even the process of casting prestidigitation to make things easier is a bit self-defeating, as it also makes you have to do a fair bit of effort to do so, so it doesn't really pay off in
Mhm.
the long term. So it's starting to catch up. You're a little worn out. It's a little, and the rest of the party is able to see as you're entering, and you know you've got your sweat. Your clothes are still in generally very good form, but maybe
I imagine before
like
he
a,
entered, he would have dried them off.
Hmm?
I imagine before he entered, he would have
Yeah.
dried them off.
you do a good job at making sure to keep everything completely presentable, but you probably missed just a single part of the outfit being untucked somewhere as you re-enter.
One might I was rather productive. And what is the log here?
Work.
Speaking of, I should get back to my actual work as soon as I catch my breath a bit.
Seem busy more in city than in wilderness.
Well, in the wilderness, we only have one thing to do, and that's survive and travel to where we're headed next.
That's two
In the
things.
city. Okay, we have 2 things out in the wilderness. In the city, I have all manner of different appointments to keep, all manner of personal projects to work on.
Maybe you just leave and never come back.
If only would be so fortunate.
He shrugs.
You can do it.
I can.
Aside from one that will come up dynamically, are there any other scenes the party would like to see, or will the rest of the session be finishing the process of the Bastion turn?
I think we
I
were
would
on to
say
this.
that friend makes a point of wanting to find the naturalist founder.
Mm-hmm. Kaio agrees. He'd like to help you
The
with that.
guild leader, not the founder, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just can't pronounce the name.
Etradan.
Aetradan.
What
Yep.
was the name of the betrayer general?
Aetradan. Sure. Yeah.
Horseman.
If you mention that you have an interest
Oh
in
my
that,
fucking god.
Kaya will chime in and say that he would love to help you with that. He's also kind of curious where things have gone, and, well, it seemed urgent. Maybe he needs help.
Sounds reasonable. Hiroi and Rat both work on their individual projects a bit more. On the 14th, as Hiroi goes down the stairs to attempt to gather the last little bit of supplies he needs for his first attempt, the innkeeper pulls him to the side. One of the integrationist couriers dropped this off for you. Don't know what's in it. And he hands you a rather well-kept and sturdy box.
Thank you for letting me know. I'll see what's inside it.
Who else is in the inn at this time? Everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. You head back upstairs. You open up the box after, whatever reasonable precautions you deem fit. And...
Thank you.
And the first thing present is a small sheet of paper which gives off a simple listing of Dear Emissary Nakoku, I'm overjoyed to hear of your presence in the city and that you have arrived and made yourself well and truly situated. Please take these gifts as a mere welcoming and my enjoyment to hear of you again.
Is there a signature at the bottom?
There's not.
Something about the tone of the letter sets him on edge a bit. He's going to see what the other contents of the box are.
Please make me 4 loot rolls and re-roll any that are empty.
Just... Jesus Christ.
So give me one more since
Oh,
that
that-
one was
yeah,
a
yeah.
nothing. There you go.
Holy shit. So 4 trade good rolls and 4 magic items.
Parentheses. This is part of the adventure check.
2, 3, 4. Not bad.
You got those right?
And magic item.
I will get them, yes.
1, 2, 3. 4. Perfectly balanced.
4 magic items.
2.
70, 100. Do we want to just not put the 100 onto the mules? Cause
Yeah,
we're
you
in
can
the
just
city?
Yeah.
you can convert it. You're in the city. Alright.
Okay.
That's 1 more gold. 70 is 5. I did not mean to press that.
So one of them is a decanter of water. That is item ID 7. Specifically for our purposes, that is considered a group attunement item, i.e. the entire group has 3 attunement slots that are shared across everyone, and that would be one of them. For up to 10 traveling creatures, you can ignore the extra ration penalties of hot weather using 1 charge, or scorching weather using 2 charges, and starts with 2d4 plus 1 charges and can hold up to 10.
Okay.
It can still be
Let me
used
also
for
look.
mundane levels of decanter of water stuff. And is recharged by making an offering of some kind to a water god in a temple or other holy place.
Okay. And those are for the consumables that we got.
Okay, I will check that in a moment.
Sorry.
That's 1. So let's see, for the first item, the 3d4 plus 4. Alright,
Yep.
that is 29. There's a reroll 29. Y'all already got that one.
Well,
I need to remove that. I don't think that this mysterious individual is sending you cat's love. That would be funny.
okay, so
I
let's
assume you
see,
would like something
consumable.
other than cat's love.
Yeah, we got a shitload of cat's love.
Alright.
Oof.
That's fine. Those are pretty good. I can go ahead and actually tag that over right now, because that's one of the ones that I have prepared.
Ooh.
Let me drag this into characters' feet.
These are magnificent gifts. He's gonna head back down to the innkeeper, ask him if he had any information about the guy who actually dropped the stuff off.
He gives you the
was there-
courier's name, but you'd have to inquire with the
him out.
integrationists for any more.
Okay.
These are 4 small, somewhat gold coins. It's the bulk of it is made up of electrum, but on one side is Gon striking an anvil, which is inlaid with gold, and on the other side is Ilmater, splayed out, bleeding on the floor, but smiling, etched in silver. It, despite being made out of a material that's very sturdy and very tough, it feels like it would break at an instant's moment. At a moment's instance.
For a moment's notice.
Yeah, that's the one. Me when I can speak very normally. I assume Rad does some study.
Study? Do you mean identifying?
Like
Using my-
identifying, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
over
was
the
gonna
course
say
of
for a
the next
second,
6 days.
I was thinking about what. Yes. It's 3 things, or is it 2 things that I can identify?
Well,
Or,
there's 2 remaining after this one, because one of them was trivial to identify, being a decanter of water.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, how many can I identify in a
You've
setting?
got,
'Cause
I mean,
remember
you've
there
got
was
6 days, so you can do each of them,
Okay.
because this is
Then, yeah,
a
I'll just
proper
identify them.
long rest environment. So these are oblative coins, kindly called simply oblation, and they You can, as a reaction, as long as you have one that's in one of your hands, break it to reroll pretty much anything that involves you and you alone.
Do you have these items on a separate sheet that you can just drag into the mobile storage, or will you have to write them?
I dragged it into
Foundry?
Heroes for that
Okay,
one.
okay.
The other ones you will have to add yourself.
So the oblate is in Heroes inventory?
Yep. He has 4 ablative coins. Additionally, you can add 1 decanter of water, which would use up the group attunement.
What would that be? Equipment, loot?
I'd say loot. I sent Hero the text, but I should send you the text as well. Here you go. Let's see, other 2 options. The other consumable is 14. You find these strange components of like almost glasses where they're like visors that are doing an excellent job at shading through the any of the light that goes into them, and it is completely infused with magic and arcane energy. And despite being in a very different format, you're able to figure out that these have the same energy properties as some of the old materials down there in the cart that you found far to the south with all of those broken pieces of glass that Tefred found.
Sorry, can you repeat that? It's late and I don't think I processed what you said.
Is Dark Shards part of group inventory?
The dark shards as in...
Like, proper word, is that in group inventory?
No. If those the dark shards were the petals that Friend got from the crystal trees, those are
No,
those were
not
planted.
those.
No? Okay. I don't know what dark shards are then.
When y'all were investigating the skeletons that tore up a lot of the ground,
Mhm.
y'all found some of those, and they are not in anybody's inventory.
I told Tefred to add any magic item he found to his inventory.
Well, you rolled a 6. You rolled a 4. You can add 6 dark shards, is what you'll call it, to group storage.
Okay. We'll add another. And this is a consumable?
This is a consumable.
Dark shards, 6. Not 61, 6. Okay. You said goggles? What was going on? with the
These are
goggles?
just dark shards. It's like visor glass.
Oh, I see, I see. So, we have the dark shards, we have the decanter.
We have
What else
the
is there?
a blade of coins, and we have the one that I'm about to do the last one of.
Yeah.
It is a very thin, very well protected vial that is that has a very poignant and very potent small red liquid in it that's a soft pink, kind of fleshy colored. It has a very dangerous note, or not note. It's got spine wrapped around it that's both holding on its cap, which is double capped, with like fabric on both sides so that it really can't get through. And it lists it as Open Heart Tonic.
Open heart tonic. I feel like all of these things we have mentioned have been consumables, and we rolled 1 consumable.
I mean, one of
Or
them is a
2
rechargeable thing.
I
We got
see.
2 consumables.
2 consumables, I see. So it was how many of what?
Just one open heart tonic.
Okay. Okay. Why do we have one something?
That's the uncommon item.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to mark it as a consumable because I thought a tonic would be consumable. I can edit that if it's not.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It is not much of a tonic. It is leaning much more on the open heart side of things.
I see. Well, we will see as time progresses what that means, because I don't know what the fuck that means.
I will post this in just a moment.
Do we need these 10 arrows in our mule?
Teprid uses those on
Probably not.
occasion.
Occasion? Okay.
Teprid uses those.
Ah, I see.
We still haven't used any of our 11 small red potions either. We should probably...
I am using those for crafting.
Yeah, he's actually going to use
Oh,
one
okay.
pretty soon.
Yeah, but I should drink it.
Juice that makes you explode.
Juice that makes me specifically explode.
Here you go. There you go. What would Brat like to share about his findings of the last one?
Rat kind of blinks a couple of times, looks at it, and smiles deviously.
Angry, angry poison.
In parentheses, 3d12 necrotic damage per turn starting on the turn it makes contact.
Yeah. Wonderful.
With that ominous parcel
Mm-hmm.
having been received, does the party have anything else to say before we move on to the last bits of maths?
I don't think so.
If possible, I would like to narrate a bit of the actual crafting process because I've had some fun visuals percolating.
Please do.
Alright, so Hiroi has invited the other.
And he's dead. Just to be clear, the rest of y'all are here, right?
If
Well,
you'd like us to watch.
Hiroi cut out for y'all, right?
Yep.
That's what I mean. When I say the rest of y'all are here. Yeah.
Testing.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Louder. This is unfortunate.
Me.
Hello.
Okay, so sorry about that. Headset fucking died again, which is weird because it's a wired headset. Anyway, as mentioned before, on one of the walls is a chalkboard where he's like painstakingly sketched out a series of draconic runes, not in like any grammatical structure, but like it is a definite structure. and he has a set of alchemical equipment with a solution made of cat's love and that red potion in one of the flasks, along with a scroll unfurled on a nearby lectern, and his own spellbook open to a blank page, along with another blank roll of vellum unrolled. Ah, you're just in time. This should hopefully not take too much longer. I have painstakingly sketched out the formulae over the past few weeks, and Rat, if I could borrow the use of your spark spite as we agreed upon before.
He walks over and holds it out.
What need do?
If you could light that burner under that flask.
He lights it.
Thank you. All right. So, very shortly, those ingredients will successfully mix into an ink that can be used to transfer that spell, he points at the chalkboard, onto both my spellbook and this scroll right here. And there's just one more ingredient. As Hiroi lifts the scroll of magic aura off the lectern once again, and begins reading from it verbally as he holds it over the fire as well, and the runes kind of swim off the page, and in front of the chalkboard, where waving his hand, he rearranges them into the proper orientation and holds them there with one hand as he gets his quill ready to then copy that over to both his spellbook and the scroll, using the ink that was produced from the solution of cat's love and red potion.
Let's detail the mechanics. Your
Yes.
current goal due to previous study is that you require 5
sky, 5 moth or knock, and 2 edge or forge. The forge is being provided by the weather effect of hot weather, along with Rat's assistance. The sky is being provided by my own innate bonuses, the developmental facilities, and 1 sky from the scroll of Nistul's magic aura. The moth is being provided by the scroll of Nistul's magic aura, by the cat's love, and by the red potion.
And with that, he has reached the threshold. We did this math earlier just to keep it a little clean.
Mhm.
And out comes a spell effect.
Great. Rat, if you could get one of those chunks of Starfall.
Pulls one up.
And with that, he releases the burgeoning spell effect onto the chunk of Starfall, as he then moves to copy it to the book and the scroll, putting the rest of his attention toward that.
As some of the motes of dust floating in the air as a result of the spell begin to compress and surround themselves around the chunk of Starfall, it begins to squish it, it begins to compress it. It barely shifts, but it does begin to shift. And for the most part, after a few seconds, begins to look the same as it had previously. We shall
Try striking
see.
it with a hammer, see if it deforms. Sorry, was that?
Was that a command to Rat, or was that you doing it?
Yeah, he's asking Rat to try that. He's
Sorry, my
busy
headset
copying.
died. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're
Hello.
full of technical issues today.
Yeah.
Smile.
Yeah, Hero is asking Rat to strike the now disenchanted metal with a hammer to see if it deforms.
He very weakly strikes it with a hammer.
It does not deform.
Is all of 6 strength.
Kyle?
A hit? Oh, gladly. I'll take the hammer and strike it with as much might as I can muster.
Give me an attack roll.
With strength, I guess. I'll just roll my my quarterstaff.
Yep. You
It's
give it
not a lot.
You give it a solid hit. You probably could do better with another attempt, but going in and peering at it, you see as it, much more than it ever could have before, is actually a tiny little dent. It's probable
Is that enough
that,
to work with, Rhett?
much like other metals, it would probably be better with heating, but compared to what Rat did earlier of having even Friend hit it really hard, this is progress.
He nods a couple times.
Does Rat attempt to work with it at all?
I don't have a crafting slot this Bastion turn.
Yeah, but I mean, just, messing with it.
Sure, he'd probably use the amulet in conjunction with a little whatever facilities he would have directly available to him at the moment to meld it.
Rat begins experimenting with it for the brief hour that he has access to it, but for him, he doesn't know it's only an hour. And so, after heating it up and beginning to deform it some and beginning to push it to the side and having it be in a completely different shape than when it started and was harvested, as its chunk now being a lot more splayed out, and he's trying to curve it in to see how well it'll hold with its curved shape. And all of a sudden, it is night and day, just immediately no longer being able to be shifted with any of his strikes or molding. It is clear that
Done.
So that makes an hour duration. Good to know. That's another detail that I can give them on the spell itself. Thank you all for coming. Genuinely, this is... God, this is the first time I've actually made my own spell.
I didn't know you could really do something like that.
Oh, that's the benefit of an ordered and regimented approach to magic, in that just by recombining some factors that already exist, you can create something entirely new.
I don't know that I could do that, but I kind of want to try, I'll be honest. Now, what does it do? Aside from that. And I kind of point to the Starfall medal.
Well, essentially, what the spell does is, much like the weather effect we encountered during the Quirax, it suppresses the magical properties of objects. Unlike a Dispel Magic spell, it is not a permanent effect. It merely prevents the object's magic from expressing itself for a period of 1 hour.
You could sneak something in then?
You likely could. And for instance, I don't know, disabling a magical lock for a time. Or, as shown here, being able to work with materials that otherwise prove resistant to normal methods of working. And then having them retain their properties once that hour elapses.
I can think of a few handy ways of using that. Very well done.
Thank you. I still have to come up with a name for the spell, but I intend to make a gift of the scroll to the integrationists, along with, hopefully, 1 or 2 ingots of the material. If you would be willing to assist with that, Rat.
He nods a couple of times.
Do you have a second crafting action that you would like to perform?
BBQ, that's you.
Oh, no, I don't have the scroll of magic aura to make a second one of these, but
And with that,
yeah,
it is the morning of the
Yeah.
21st,
yeah.
and the party will be preparing to turn in their quests next week upon Tefred's return.
Lovely, lovely.
Nice.
And with that, we have finished. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Since this was a bit more of a theater of the mind, low commitment session, we should be good to have it all work out.
Absolutely.
And with that, I really do hope I see you next week. Adios.
Oh, you'll be seeing me next week.